Going a lot. All right. Thanks everybody for coming out tonight. Beautiful evening. I was just across the way at Town Hall. DOT is having their public hearing on the acoustic study that they did on the 196 widening. I'm still awake, so that's good. It's got pretty dense pretty quickly over there. And Matt was over there and he's gonna be with us shortly. So everyone, I believe, is here, counting Matt. And I wanted to introduce our two select board members who are going to be joining us as part of the advisory group for the grant committee. Do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Ann Callahan and
Michael Levin. Delighted to have you both. Thank you so much for volunteering. We really appreciate it. I have a number of, I think, smallish updates that maybe I'll just run through. So let's see. First one, select board approved Kelly Ward as our consultant at their last meeting. So that was important. Thank you so much. Ian Callahan and Mike Labby will be joining us on the committee. Thank you so much. Let's see. Also, we learned at the select board meeting last Thursday that Dennis Cox is retiring as of the spring. Is that May? Okay, so that was notable for us. Putting you on the spot here, ATM. Do we know about the hiring process for that, or what that's gonna look like?
Yeah, we're putting it out already, might actually be posted already. And we're gonna move forward. I think it's open, it's gonna be open until filled, with reference to the applications received by December 5th.
By December 5th. Okay, so I'm asking out of a place of ignorance. So like with a hire like this, how does it typically go? In terms of the process? So people apply.
Yep.
Who interviews or?
Oh, they'll be interviewed by town staff.
Uh-huh.
And then a selection will be made. In this particular case, I think because of vacancies, we're gonna be able to hire somebody a little bit sooner than we would and have them work under Dennis or with Dennis for a while before the leaves. So if we can find a candidate, that's the goal.
So people apply, town staff, so this is like town staff in essence, do the.
Well, to be honest, it's a department head, so I believe town staff, I believe is probably gonna have select board involvement. Probably executive session select board involvement at some point, I would say, before the selection, but this will be my first department head hire since I've been here, so I'm 100% certain.
Can committees suggest questions for the interview process? How does?
A committee can almost do anything they want. You can suggest.
I mean, I think, as we get going on this complete streets thing, I'd like to ask about, their familiarity with the complete streets traffic calming stuff and, what experience they have and what skills they bring to that aspect of pretty big job.
Huge job.
Yeah.
Dennis officially retired, no?
yes, in May.
So you said there are some vacancies. Is that the town engineer piece?
This is deputy director.
The deputy.
Works has been vacant for a while.
Yeah.
And that was funded.
So there's some funds there. Okay.
For us to, typically you wouldn't have that, so we're pretty fortunate in that respect.
Super. I think I just had one more little update. I didn't ask either Sarah or Aaron about the trunk or treat. Did that go off?
Yeah, I attended with Jeff and Mark and had my bike as a demo. More just as a place to put Arthur when he got unruly, but I did the Halloween handing out of light sticks and had a little sign for our committee, so.
Not as much of an outreach
Yeah.
event, we realized, which is fine. It was good to have our presence, but just, I was attending with my kids who were trick or treating, but. Yeah, not like, there wasn't like a table or anything that we,
Yeah, there was not a reason to hand out materials or anything,
Mhm,
we were
mhm.
just
Different than
being
like
there
the,
and having our name out about.
awesome. Okay, thank you both for doing that.
and sort of along those lines, I was looking today a little bit about as far as like promotional stuff. Just, there was some mention last meeting about, whether or not there were funds as part of the grant for outreach.
Mhm.
That there was talk of there being that, but then in the meeting last week, it was sort of said that that was not the case. I don't know where that stands, and I'm sort of piecing together some options and some things for like maybe proposing. Getting some money then from the town if need be to kind of get like a banner for the table and some like promotional stickers and things. There's also, so I don't know, I can kind of pull it into more of like plan for next week. Right now, I just have kind of notes with costs, but they're not, final.
It didn't look like in the proposal that we put outreach and education with like $3,000, I guess we're confused at. If that's not for purchases like this, what's it?
Or is that for the group to use?
There is some money there, offhand, so their proposal, I don't have their budget in front of me. They, that's their allocation, the consultant's allocation for outreach and education.
Um,
So there's some overlap in terms of what we're trying to do
Sure.
and what they're doing. They're working for us. One of the things that they are going to be doing is helping us come up with some branding stuff, which has sort of been an ongoing conversation here. So that may include, a banner
Okay.
or something like that. But we should definitely, raise that with them early on.
Yeah,
Yes.
be nice to start pulling the trigger on some of these items, because it'd be helpful to hand out things when we're making a presence.
And even just, like even before we get to like promotional stickers, which I've been working at designing and sourcing and stuff, but just like. At the one event where we handed out water bottle stickers that I got like a pack of them at Goodwill. That it was happy to donate, and it's cheap, it's like $12 for 500 at Target, so. Like just the money for that, so we're not just continuing to like put our own cash into it. Sure.
So we know, so their budget is 61,000 for Haley Ward.
Mhm.
We know what the black boxes cost. Maybe not right now, but in general, we know that. Could we summarize that less the total grant amount? And see if there's even a couple $100. I don't know that it's necessarily every dollar is being used. I'm not sure. Maybe it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah, I don't know either, but it seems
So-
like
That might be the.
I'm not
exercise.
comfortable like doing that this evening.
No, that's right, but I think that's the exercise I'm thinking
Yeah.
that maybe we need to do just to, because it might be that there's even $200.
Yeah, just like a
Yeah.
petty cash kind of thing for
Yeah.
like,
It's not a huge.
we
Mhm.
gave them.
Yeah, right, they're very small, that's money.
So,
Yeah.
Chief, I'm putting you on the spot as well, in terms of just updates. Do we know you and I talked a little bit, but for the committee, in terms of consultant onboarding and getting going with that?
So they will definitely be here for the December meeting. I told her what we're basically doing as far as gathering data. Right now with the boxes, in thinking about potential streets to do everything on. In fact, this week, we're putting one on Elm Street. Because Elm Street's always a topic of discussion. So last week, we put them out again on Tedford and Pat Ants to reconfirm the numbers that we're getting for traffic and speeds out there. And then I told her I would reach back out to her. They were busy with making a final push on another project last week into this week. And so I'm gonna reach out to her and see what we could do or what may be helpful for hitting the ground running in December. She said that'd be perfect, so.
Super.
But she knows we're getting the speeds and so forth. I will say when we filled out the grant request for education and outreach, we had $3,718 there. But on our narrative, I mean, I think we can work with it, but we said for mailing, gift cards, for community events, refreshments, and so forth. We didn't necessarily say anything about certain things, but I think should be some wiggle room there.
Super. All right,
But their proposal has 20 hours and $3,500 for that community outreach too, so.
Yep.
We definitely need everybody's to sit down and
So we're gonna get paid.
make sure we're all on the same page.
It's cool.
so I guess if there are like specific asks, Sarah, maybe we can check in about that
Yeah,
and then like come up with something.
I mean, and these are like one of the banners like $44, you know, and then the other's 45. I mean, these are really not high ticket unless we're doing promo stuff where MOQs are like 1,000 pieces or something, so we'll figure it out. Sounds.
Okay, sounds good. Does anyone else have any updates or announcements this evening?
This kind of applies to, the rules of the road electing for next year. I will be moving back to the West Coast. Yes,
You little.
sorry,
Yes, doctor.
yes, in the summer, so,
In the
in
summer,
the summer.
okay, so it's November.
Still hang out until then, just
Can we-
don't wanna be reelected.
So I probably shouldn't be reelected as secretary.
Okay, okay,
I'm happy to keep doing it until then, but like, if someone else wants to like take on that role for the year, that would, whatever.
okay, but we're gonna keep you as long as we can.
Yes,
here.
until the summer.
Okay, all
Where's
right.
it? Berlin? No, where's it?
Yeah, Burlington, Washington is where my family is. Yeah, north of Seattle.
Oh, it's out there for 2 weeks in Seattle, not Berlin.
Yeah, if, I don't know what you do for 2 weeks in Burlington. It's like, not a lot there.
So it's something you're really excited to go back. I'm just kidding.
I have really mixed emotions about it for many reasons, but
Seattle's cool,
needs to happen.
that area.
All right, cool, well, congrats.
I don't know.
Okay. Um. Let's see, any other announcements? How about, we go back to minutes?
Oh, I spelled healing word wrong. I didn't fix that.
Would anyone like to make a motion regarding the minutes from the month of October?
I move to approve the minutes as written.
Any discussion? All in favor of approving the minutes from October? So, all right, any adjustments to the agenda before we move on? All righty, well, we basically have, oh geez. My mind, I'll be honest, is a little bit, when I look at the two things that are actually on our agenda, we've got the rules of the road and sort of reflections. I just thought this was a good opportunity before we embark with the consultants, just to sort of think about where we've been over the past year and for folks to share anything that they might want to before we embark on this next exciting phase of our work. So why don't we start with the more concrete part, which is just going over our rules of the road. I think for those, these are in essence, they sort of work like our bylaws. We've tried to capture just how we work here in them. And we try to come back to them once a year and tweak them as necessary. So I had 3 or 4 things that I wanted to call out in terms of the rules of the road. I'll just go through them. Every time I look at our mission statement, I feel like I want to tweak it a little bit. So I'm going to suggest a little tweak to our mission statement. We need to agree on a chairperson, a vice chairperson, and a secretary for the coming year. And I just wanted to go over our liaisons, which are on page 2, and then talk about sort of our subcommittee structure and how we might tweak that going forward this coming year. Is there anything else that people wanted to talk about related to the rules of the road?
I think it'd be nice if we mentioned the Town of Topsam's committee rules that said, can't miss more than 2 meetings. have to be-
Aaron, we should definitely incorporate that.
That could just be mentioned as,
It
and we
should-
follow
it
all of
should-
the,
Yes, thank you for mentioning that. We should probably incorporate that somewhere near the top there, huh?
Maybe under membership. Maybe a member.
Jeff, what is that policy? It's a new volunteer policy or
There's 3 of them I can forward you.
3 policies?
Yeah, if you don't mind, I'll forward them to the group.
Yeah,
You could look at all 3.
okay.
Um,
The one we talked about here at some point was
The
really,
one with the attendance.
the one with the
Yep.
attendance stuff in it.
Yep, that's 1 of 3. You put me on the spot, now I'm not gonna be. able
That's
to-
okay, that's okay.
You are-
Why don't you send them
There-
along?
There's 3 that we go over with new committee members, before they start. And,
Okay.
I'll send them along.
Don't
Okay.
put me on the spot.
Well, you were the most recent, I just look at you,
I didn't-
I know
I
you
didn't
went through
either.
that.
Either.
One's a recording policy, one's, the attendance and position policy, and then the third is whatever the third is, so.
Okay. If you send those along, I will do my best to incorporate them seamlessly somewhere near the top.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Aaron. Thank you,
Also
Aaron, for
part B.
noting that.
So I think C membership could
Mhm.
be good for just like, if you're gonna be a member, you have to show up. And then also committee members,
Nesting those policies there.
yeah, but also then on the second page, under the big D subpart, little d, committee members, it might be
Would be support a little bit, yeah, okay.
a good place to put like committee members shall,
Shall follow all policies of the town of Topsham.
right? Something like that.
Yeah, and that way you don't have to articulate
Okay.
all 3 of them and
Yeah.
just say
Just say.
You can
re-roll
reference them
Yeah.
or something.
the town policies.
Oh,
Because when they change them, we don't have to change it.
Yeah.
All right, very good. Thank you, Aaron, again for noting that. So we could take a quick look. I don't want to get mired in this, so we don't need to make a change. It may just be a pet peeve of mine. Looking at our mission, the thing that I always sort of note, our mission currently reads, the Topsham Bicycle and Pedestrian Committee exists to promote safety and accessibility for all users throughout the town of Topsham. What we don't mention is the transportation network or the transportation system. So safety, we're not talking about safety and accessibility at town hall necessarily, like we're talking about safety and accessibility out in the community in terms of the transportation network. So I thought maybe we could just squeak the words transportation system or transportation network into our mission.
or active transportation, so it's not cars. I mean, that we're not talking about.
So let me just read my tweet and then you can. So I struck the word improvements. The Topsham Bicycle and Pedestrian Committee exists to promote safety and accessibility for all transportation system users in the town of Topsham.
So I like it. One thought I had, just now in this talk was, if you say, instead of promoting safety and accessibility, say to promote a safe and accessible transportation network.
Ooh. In the town of
Like
Topsham.
that.
I don't like system, but yeah.
Network,
Transportation system doesn't.
I like network better
Yeah.
than system as well. Can you say that again, Matt?
To promote a safe and accessible transportation network
In the town of
in the town
Topsham.
of Topsham.
I do like.
Oh, for all users,
For
Yeah.
all users.
Yeah,
For all users in the town of Topsham.
So that includes drivers.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
you
They
have the
have to
right
be
to be
safe too.
safe from those crazy cyclists on the side,
Cyclists.
not, turning without signal.
They would
Yeah,
never
but-
ride in the middle of the road 2x2, never.
Not in the middle of the road.
On my skateboard.
It's a little crazy, but down in, was it Fall River, New Bedford, Mass recently? 100 ATV, motorcycle, like all kinds that just took over the road and they were arrested 5 of them. Did you hear about that?
That's the new, right?
That's the thing now, especially at Mass, it's everywhere. So hopefully that doesn't happen up here.
Carolyn, can you just read that back to us one time? What, Matt?
You read it, you said it.
Okay, just final reading here.
The Topsham Bicycle Pedestrian Committee
It is to
exists to
promote
promote
a safe and accessible transportation network for all users.
in the town of
In the-
Topsham.
Yes.
Okay, any thoughts? Folks comfortable with that?
I like it.
I do too. I think it's just a hair better than what we had before. Yeah, that's what we're after, right? Incremental change. All right, thank you, Matt.
We can always ask Haley Ward their opinion too. In a few months.
Okay,
Is it up to us to define the mission?
Yeah,
Or
we
were
did
we
go through
told
the
this is what your mission is?
so, our charge is from the select board, but we developed our missions.
Okay.
Yeah. So in our charge is B, I think, I don't know if we wanna like vote at the end to accept all the little tweaks that we're doing. Probably makes sense, like rather than vote on individual items. Alrighty, why don't we, I'm gonna suggest we go through the other stuff, the committee members and the subcommittee stuff, and then at the end, talk about chair, vice chair, and secretary. Does that make sense? So I am on page 2, under D, committee members shall, current liaisons, these are the ones we talked about last year. So Javier's been doing the Brunswick Topsham Riverwalk. That's an ongoing thing,
It is,
right?
they meet once a month. And they were they're very hopeful to finish the loop from the Green Bridge to the Hanger Bridge on the Brunswick side. They received bad news about the escalating costs. And now they are retrenching just to get a better sidewalk. But they're hopeful that they can leverage Brookfield's renewal plans, require them to spend some money in improving the access to the river. And they're hoping to get some money from that side, to maybe get some bump outs or something prettier. So it doesn't feel like only half a loop from bridge to bridge.
Right, right. That was the other thing I forgot to mention. Brunswick, what? Was it a week ago or 2 weeks ago? Was it last Monday? It was last Monday. There was a DOT had a public meeting over in Brunswick regarding. I don't know what they're actually calling it. It's the pool table, it's the bridge and the on-ramps. And it includes the Mason Street stuff. So I was there. I believe that public hearing, oh, it might close today. Today might be the last day for comments on that. I believe I did send it out in their minutes, but it's just a preliminary thing. There will be more opportunities to do that.
Does that include some of that sidewalk project?
There was discussion of that at the preliminary public meeting. So one of the things that they are doing, one of the significant things that they're doing is currently, if you're going south from Topsham, you cross the bridge, you pass the mill, and then you've got 2 right-hand turns. You've got a right-hand turn that goes into the mill complex, and that's like, it's like a street. And then there's what is in essence an on-ramp onto Route 1.
Right.
That on-ramp, as it's currently done, is gonna go away. So there's just going to be one access point there. So it's gonna reduce the number of hops. If you're a pedestrian, you're not gonna be island hopping.
Yeah.
And it's gonna make kind of a 4-way intersection there. Cause you've got the on-ramp coming up from Route 1 on the other side, and then you've got and then you're gonna have one road that's gonna provide access to like the mill and the parking, and it's gonna snake through and go onto Route 1. So part of that, there was a lot of conversation about the sidewalk aspect of that. It's like preliminary phase, so it wasn't super clear.
Yeah.
It's worth looking at the on-demand thing and voicing your opinions, because there are some places for improvement on first glance online.
Yeah.
So you have to wait in.
Yeah, sorry.
Well, and if that's like all in the works, it doesn't feel like they're gonna like finish or make a sidewalk better. Because then it all could change when they do all of that work.
Right, so part of the MDOT plan then is whenever they do the school table to, fix the sidewalk, it's on, what's the name of that road?
Cabot, I'm thinking.
Oh, is it Cowwood, is it Mill, whatever, the one that is kind of like hugging the river,
Uh-huh.
it's very narrow.
Mhm.
So that's the place where they wanna make it a standard 5 feet, cause it goes to 3 feet some point, and put the guardrail on the side of the traffic. And then push back all the landscape, and their pie in the sky idea, it was gonna be 10 feet wide, but building all that extra sort of retaining wall. Now it's prohibited, this, so it's that.
They're gonna build a retaining wall along the riverfront.
Sorry?
Along the river. Along the
Correct.
river,
Yes, they want to build it onto the river.
yeah. Yep.
So, just to go back to our liaison, so Javier's been doing that, that's an active thing, there's a lot going on over there in terms of the Riverwalk. Sarah's school stuff, I feel like,
I haven't done much. I mean, I participated in walk to school stuff and like the Bike Coalition came to the elementary school, which is great. That I had nothing to do with that, but it was great that it happened. And I have the intention to work with the gym teacher there is very involved in biking and walking and sort of, different, the fifth grade class every year does a big bike trip that, and that kind of thing. Not a big bike trip. They used to like go over to Lakewood, Cook's Corner, but now it's like from like the Forsyth Field, so it's great, but whatever, it's getting out there and they have bikes, and helmets and everything. So yeah, I haven't done much with that, but I'm happy to keep going.
I'm gonna ask a slightly different question. I think it's useful to like have these liaisons here, just because it's sort of like a snapshot of our thinking at a moment in time, and now we're coming back to it. We don't necessarily have to have all these liaisons listed here. I think some of this, as we talk about the subcommittee stuff, like a schools liaison might, as we get going in the complete street stuff, be part of an outreach group. Those might be overlapping sorts of roles, like a liaison in a subcommittee that does outreach. So I guess I'm just throwing that out there. We could just not have all these little bullet points if that was just simpler.
I mean, I would absolutely be happy if the need arises for any sort of, work with the schools. I'd be more than happy to be that person, even if, certainly the schools beyond my little isolated world of Williams Common. And so, yeah, I'd be happy to do that. I don't need it to be officially on here, but I can also continue to keep that role if it's helpful.
Okay, let's just sort of
Okay.
hold on that. So Matt's been doing DOT stuff.
Yeah, and it really, I did some, I think earlier on, I didn't even know about the sound thing tonight until you mentioned it. So I don't know if there's a better way for me to, but I think I'm actually planning a job change soon.
Okay.
That I think will actually put me in a really good position to improve my Maine DOT coordination.
Okay.
You're gonna work for the DOT?
Not directly.
That would be good.
Not-
It's simple, you're gonna work for them, okay.
I'm not quite jumping that far yet. No. But a company that maybe has recently been discussed as presenting on a plan in Brunswick.
Oh. And perhaps in Topsham as well.
Yes. So. Yeah, so I think there'll be a lot of good opportunities for me to coordinate with DOT. So,
Great.
That seems like an important relationship to, or not.
Yeah, like we need to keep tabs on that.
yeah, and I do need to figure out like tonight, for example. How did you find out about that? Was that,
I found out about it on the town website.
it was on the time, okay. Yeah, cause I gotta figure out,
I'm prowling the town website all over
yeah,
Yeah, the website, there's a section of the website that has, like the calendar events,
gotcha, okay.
and then there's actually
It was right on the front page, like when you open it, it was like
So
public
if you-
meeting, right there.
public notice.
Yeah,
Okay. But then, if you scroll down,
Yep.
it was also the calendar.
Okay. Okay, yeah, I gotta do a better job with
There
this.
we are.
So,
So the other two, were the planning board and the finance committee. I don't think we've been doing a ton of stuff with the planning board.
I went to a
And
few meetings initially, but it's like a huge time commitment to like attend.
They every other week or they?
Yeah.
Yeah, like twice. A
Yeah.
month, like for 2 hours probably.
Yeah,
I can't do that. I
Yeah.
thought, oh, maybe I'll just like listen from home, but I'm like,
yeah.
no
So
offense to the
so
planning board,
maybe-
but like.
I mean, hopefully, they're gonna be tuned into what we're up to
Yeah.
this year. And that's, maybe going to, I think it's useful for someone to be tuned in to what's happening. I
Yeah.
don't know that we always have to like go to meetings or anything like that.
Mhm.
But hopefully this year, they're gonna be paying attention to what we're doing.
Mhm.
Uh,
I guess when I look at the planning board liaison, I envision maybe something a little different, and it's. Like, for example, the Union Park. Like, if as part of that development, like if there's gonna be a new traffic light and making sure the crosswalk, I mean, obviously, it all has to. Be up to code, right? It has to meet minimum requirements for this town to accept whatever they're gonna do, but I think I envision more as like big developments. And maybe we just look at it as keeping up to speed with those. So like rather than, you spending 4 hours a month, or not you, but somebody spending 4 hours a month at meetings,
Mhm.
more like, hey, checking agendas, meeting minutes, occasionally, hey, we've got this big development coming up
Mhm.
that we might want to
It's like,
voice our opinion on some,
it's like the development there by Goodwill.
yeah,
Like they
right,
have there's a sidewalk now in front of Goodwill, and what looks like will be a crosswalk over to the other side, which will go down to.
And that just abruptly stops in the middle of the street. I mean, it doesn't go all the way to the end of the street. The
Well,
side-
it goes to Goodwill, and then like what's on the other side does not appear complete yet. I don't know where that's gonna go, but
It's gonna go down to,
like towards Market Basket.
Yeah.
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 Which is
And-
great. And we talked about that, like, I don't know, several months ago.
Yeah.
That was one of our topics of discussion, it was good.
And Brian, we can talk about it later, but we had a staff review of Union Park, and I, again. Not on behalf of the Bike Ped Committee, but I did say that I had an issue from a safety perspective. On having, what is that, 180, 200,
180.
yeah, having that many units built with people being able to see Subway. And Dunkin' Donuts and Sam's and so forth. And not having a way to get there, cause people are going to get there.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And. We'll see what comes of it. The people that are putting this together listened, cause they were there at the meeting. But nobody said much, but there's gonna be an issue, so I've said it, it's on record at least, that's.
So part of the TIF, the town recaptures that. The 40% of the 60/40. Town captures 40% of that revenue to do stuff. Enhancements,
Stuff that we have already planned to do. That's where the value is.
Chief, I totally agree. I mean, you've got. Well, just on Union Park, there's no sidewalk, but yeah, then you've got all that stuff. That's. If you're not in a car.
Well, just so I can be clear about that, stuff that would benefit the town that we had already intended to do. Not anything that's gonna add to the development and benefit the development.
But, so it's not gonna include any crosswalks or lights.
If it's stuff that will benefit the town that we think is a good idea that we would potentially do anyway, yes. If it's because the development being built and it becomes necessary for the developer to do it, then it's probably gonna be on that.
Okay. Just to keep the liaison thing, Don is obviously no longer in the committee. I just ran into him across the way. He is very happy to. Provide us updates about what they're doing over the finance committee, in, spring months. But I'll go ahead and strike that particular one. Carolyn, I guess we're not gonna keep on as a planning board liaison.
Oh, no.
Okay. So I think, I'll just go ahead and strike Don and Carolyn in those two liaison positions and keep the remaining ones, if that's okay.
I think that once we start the Complete Streets project, we might identify that we have additional needs at that
Mhm.
point. and
Yep.
So I don't think.
So let's talk about the committee stuff. So I should have made copies of this for you. This is my wonderful Venn diagram that has sort of guided my thinking about committees. So in the past, we had the grant writing committee. very successful committee. We had the outreach committee and the policy committee. So the grant committee obviously was doing some work. The outreach committee has been doing some work, I would say, over, doing events and stuff. And the policy committee, I would say, has been the least active of those three committees. Moving forward, it seems like one of the things that I see as a real need for us as a group is like the external outreach and communication stuff. So like, just as an example, it'd be awesome if we had someone to like write a press release that like, we just hired these consultants to do this like complete street thing.
My mom could do that.
Your mom?
Yeah. She wrote for a newspaper for like 20 years. She would happily write
She live in Burlington.
Washington, yes, yes.
Well, she moves out there, I mean, you move out there, she live here,
No.
and then you can have impression, swap. So,
So that's just a poor example, but communications and outreach, I don't know if those are two different bundles.
so bring up a quick question.
Okay.
Let's say that I wrote a press release.
Mhm.
Does that need to be approved by the town?
To-
To go up? Like,
That's probably.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Say
probably
yes.
gonna get covered under that policy that
Yeah.
we're gonna afford to you.
It
And the
has to be
reason,
approved.
yeah, the reason for that is we have to make sure anything that's going out by this committee is
Is the message of the town.
right,
Correct.
Okay.
I don't know
Totally.
how we'd send it out anyway,
that's it,
posting it on the town's website. So.
right,
I think we pick up on most of that though. I mean, I don't. It's absolutely, it would be required, but I think we pick up on it before it gets to the issue, right, so.
I mean, what do you mean by that?
Like, I don't know, it just seems like something that we pick up on in these meetings.
right,
If there was a press release circulating around that needed to go in front of the select board and get approved. I feel like we know that and we advise you to take it there.
Yeah.
That's part of what the chief's job is on this committee, is to make sure that you're not putting stuff out that you shouldn't put out. Things like that. I don't
So,
wanna overcomplicate.
yeah, I don't want to either, and I don't know if I want to get into the weeds of this, but like, if we just wrote like a pretty straightforward press release, like, the Topsham Bicycle Pedestrian Committee received a grant, blah, 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 and just sort of reported what we've told the select board and what the select board has approved. Would that need to go in?
I think that's where you're.
Then we go to we go to
Liaison
chief.
Because the chief goes and talks to Mark and
Yeah.
Mark makes sure that it's in line with everything and Mark probably makes a decision whether he can approve it or goes in front of the select board for approval. I'm just trying to make it a little less. difficult.
The select board's not trying to be really controlling here, but in the past, we've had opposing releases that went
Mhm.
out on behalf of the town.
Mhm.
And which position was the town's, and then somebody else running their own position, and so we just wanted to have it filtered through somehow, but a press release that you got the grant is pretty self-explanatory, it's not very controversial, so I don't think that would be a problem at all.
I guess-
But you have to still run it through,
right.
chief, and then he'll bring it to Mark.
An easier way to say it would be, not a very good process to be waiting for 2 weeks.
Yeah, it would be, right,
No, no,
right,
no,
right, yeah,
sure, right.
something timely that, hey, like, we want to get this out there and.
Correct.
Probably to summarize it. We developed, something, some policy, not like outward facing policy, press release, something like that as a committee. Give it to chief. And then he would take that process from there and maybe it's a matter of a day or two if it just goes over to Mark Waltz and he's like, yeah, that's fine, or maybe it's a week and you guys all review it. And then go from there.
If it's a timed issue, you can also email us.
Yeah.
We approve things by email a lot.
As far as the committee or the outreach, I think that's a big part of the grant that we're gonna be working on, that complete streets policy. A big part of that is outreach, so I don't know that we create another group. It's got, again, I think we're best served to wait to get kicked off with Haley Ward
I think you're right.
to decide, okay, these couple of people are gonna work directly on community outreach. He's on policy. Is policies part of that also,
Mhm.
of the complete streets? So,
Why don't we hold off on this part of the discussion until we get Haley Ward on board and we can sort of help, they can help us sort of think through what the most important things are gonna be.
They may have press releases prepared, you know.
Yeah, I don't
they
know.
have already sent one out.
Okay, so let's come back and do chairperson, vice chairperson, and secretary for the coming year. I've had a little side conversations with people about this, but like, it's like an open conversation. So I guess we can do nominations and then, you know, just normal procedure, and discuss it. Would anyone like to make a nomination for the role of chairperson?
Well, before we do nominations, should we understand if anybody's interested? Or are we assuming, like, for the chairperson that you're interested and we should nominate you?
Here,
Or the opposite.
well, so I'm a little, thank you for asking that question, Mary Beth. I am excited to see this work through, the complete streets work through. That said, I was talking to Sarah the other day, and I was like, I definitely feel like I am going to need to delegate more things to people. Just for my own work-life balance sanity thing. I'm willing to continue in the role, but I feel like, you know, this most recent thing with the grant approval, like I had you and Matt, and like, I felt like we worked through that together really well. And that was helpful. I don't know what all the different pieces are that are going to come up in terms of our work with the consultants. But I know that like, I'm gonna be asking for everybody to pitch in, you know, if we do that.
I will say that like, from a secretary standpoint, like, I'm not doing all these things. I show up and I do the minutes, so like, I feel like there's a lot more that could be taken off your plate from that standpoint,
Mhm.
which like, honestly didn't really even realize.
Mhm. I
Um,
was looking over that too. I was like, oh, I should be.
yeah,
saying
so
Carolyn,
there's
good
like,
work.
yeah, there's definitely like things that can be delegated there, and then I wasn't really super aware of that would come off of your plates. I think you're a really good leader of the group, and that if you find it within yourself to be able to delegate, that you should be nominated to continue, if that's something you desire.
Yeah,
I think it'd be good when we do the committee discussion to consider having like a liaison to the vendor or contractor, like to take that some of it off of you, that
Yeah.
you're not in charge of
All that communication.
all of that, but that there's somebody who is directly managing that conversation. There's someone doing the outreach, that you're not assumed to be that role as well. Or the chairperson is not assumed to be that as well.
Mhm.
and we have just one opening right now.
We still have one opening in the committee.
I wanna nominate them.
Yeah, very good.
Well,
Member-
committee.
member nine.
Can I ask a quick question here of you, Jeff? So how do other committees work? I mean, the vendor is actually for the town because it's a town grant. So far, she's been doing all her communication with me. Is that how it would continue? That's what I thought as we roll into.
Yeah, I mean, anything grant related, I think would have to go through you.
All right, so I don't think you would have as big of a concern as you think, because I think everything should be going through me.
Well,
I mean,
just in terms of the work of the grant, like, it seems like there's gonna be. I don't know what all the different things to anticipate are gonna
I
be.
hope,
And just,
I agree, I mean, I think you fired a consultant on grant funding. And you have a staff liaison, so I think it should be fairly seamless there. The workload won't be as intense as it would be if it was set up a different way.
And then the select board would just expect periodic updates.
Mhm.
And is it that do we need to decide this like tonight, or is it just the fall? Like
We don't have to, I just thought,
Yeah,
because we're
because we-
anticipating like, I don't wanna waste consulting time
Okay.
having this
I guess
conversation.
my thinking was just like, would we have a better sense of things after meeting with consultants? But
Yeah,
yeah.
we're not obligated to make this decision tonight.
Should we nominate people though tonight, since it's been a year, or are people comfortable continuing? Another month past the year, I think we typically nominate and elect in November.
Oh, so
Yeah,
that's.
this is about the time.
Right,
if we do it.
I mean, I
I
guess, so,
think we should do it if we
Yeah.
can.
so my,
Finding it out, cause.
The term required to do it.
my perspective is, I think you do a great job. I think if you are open to continuing in whatever capacity, even if it's with more help of ours, that would be awesome. I think if you were like, you really wanted to step back, I think at minimum, like vice chair or something, because like I think you would need to support.
Mhm.
I can only speak for myself, I mean, maybe others, like, I don't know that we would be able to go forward in the same direction we've been going without you taking the leadership role, I guess. And I mean that in like the most sincere,
Endearing way.
endearing way. Yeah, so
Nominate him.
I give you my full
Yeah,
confidence.
nominated.
Nominate him.
Unless you tell me you really don't. want
Enough
it.
said. I do, I just
Yeah.
like, I just like don't wanna like find myself in 3 months like with,
Yeah, yeah.
crushing workload under, the grant. I just don't, I've not done this before.
Yeah.
Right, so that's the part of like, I don't know.
And maybe
I don't know what
we
to expect.
add more responsibilities to the vice chair who can then pick up some of,
I had a conversation with Sarah about this the other day, it's like, we do this, I'm gonna be pushing more things if you wanna. Be
Yeah, and I
vice chair.
haven't been doing much, so I'm happy to
Think-
take on more.
Whoever that person is, like.
Right.
I'm gonna be like,
Yeah.
is that you today, the vice chair?
Yeah, right, but you would know because Brian takes charge, and so I allow that, but.
If you don't want to up there.
Well, then I did like one thing on this list. It's listed for me,
Yeah,
so
do I
like,
have a list?
like, I should have like talked to you about it, but we never had a conversation.
Well, I mean,
What more I could do
And
to
I don't
support
think
you.
Brian's ever not been here too, so I've never had to step up to run the meeting.
Is this on this is on our Google Drive?
It's in the drive.
Cause I'm just thinking like. You'll be familiar with races, right? Yeah, so a race,
What?
basically who's responsible, accountable, who needs to be consulted and who's informed, right? So that's basically what this is though, is it's like. It's a description of everyone's role. But just a matter of if you didn't know this was your role, you wouldn't do it. And then obviously, as the chair, kind of everything falls back to you.
Mhm.
But it shouldn't have to be that way.
Mhm.
So I think it's just a matter of. Making sure that whoever's doing those roles know, and then I think the other important thing is if new roles not roles, responsibilities come up. That it doesn't default to you,
Mhm.
Yeah.
right? So if the role is that we're gonna have a public meeting or something with a consultant. You're not now all of a sudden responsible for everything. Maybe that has to get shifted, we have to evaluate month to month or whatever on what that is.
Well, we're gonna have a committee for the
Mhm.
complete streets.
This is the committee right
The
here.
entire group.
This is.
That's what I'm
you got-
saying, is I think we need a subcommittee that meets more regularly than a month to work with the contractor and vendor, whatever we're calling them. Cause I don't think that we're nimble enough.
Well, they have experience with this, so when we talk to them, I'm sure they'll be like, yeah, we have to meet twice a month. Or, yeah, we have to meet 3 times a month, they'll give us some insight to that, which that's probably the case, but, one meeting a month is probably not enough in the time period, but.
And after that meeting, I think, like, if you agree to accept the nomination and our chair, then maybe sitting down with whoever's vice chair
Mhm.
and maybe redefining those responsibilities. I mean, because the vice chair has fewer responsibilities than the secretary. And could probably take on some of those. So whether that's me or somebody else here, I feel like that would be even just having it in writing, taking it out off your list and putting it on the vice chair's list could be a good step in the right direction.
Yeah, the assist chairperson as requested is a big sort of open-ended.
Yeah.
Mhm.
these are both
Invitation to
big
get
and-
stuff.
yeah. Deliver, Dana's.
So my recommendation, for what it's worth, would be that we nominate the three of you to continue. If you're interested, we already know that Carolyn's gonna have to be replaced in the summer at some point, so we can,
Yeah.
unless somebody really wants to jump in as secretary.
I don't
Otherwise,
wanna jump in right now, but I know I've done it maybe twice and I don't mind it,
Yeah,
so.
I'm happy to keep doing it and it'll be most of the next year, so.
And if, you know, a month comes up where you're like out of town, I'm
Yeah.
happy to just do it. Yeah.
Okay.
okay,
And
so
then when you are unfortunately permanently out of town,
Just for the record, I know that the two select board members that are here tonight, we are non-voting members, so we don't make any voting at all, just so you know that. We're not, I'm disinterested by not raising our hands.
Most what we have to.
Okay,
And I will take on these roles, do this list of things. We should probably meet and talk about it though, because I don't know how to do all of them, but like, okay, we can make that happen. Who I communicate with.
I second your nomination of the full incumbent ballot.
okay. So was that a motion? Mary
sure.
Beth? Second from Javier. Is there any discussion regarding a motion to reappoint the current officers? I'll call them chairperson, vice chairperson and secretary for the coming year. During
Do either of
discussion.
you want to step down? Like, are you comfortable?
I would accept that.
We'll put a note there that you guys will meet at some point to reshuffle all the responsibilities.
Yes.
And take a class on delegation.
yeah, maybe what we end up with is, so these are the three official roles, we end up with a list of liaisons, right? And maybe part of that delegation of tasks is some of that stuff can be done by liaisons too.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, yeah, I think the more you can push work down. Better.
Good. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion by Mary Beth? So I think we just made a couple other minor tweaks to the rules of the road. We made the adjustment to our mission statement to incorporate the transportation network piece. And we struck a couple of the liaisons from page 2. We're gonna come back to the subcommittee stuff once we meet with the consultants and have a better sense from them about how to organize that going forward. Can we just take a vote on the change to the mission and just the housekeeping items that we made to the rules of the road?
Second that motion.
Okay, I guess I made a motion. Javier seconded it. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor of the housekeeping adjustments to the rules of the road?
And if you give me editing powers, I'll do that.
Super. Okay, good. Editing powers.
If what's more, I'll also have read-only on the Google file,
And which one?
and all the
On
Google.
all of them? Aaron might have.
Somehow.
Okay.
To that.
What's that?
How do I like?
I don't know. I think there's like. You gotta muck
I'll just
around
send it
with
to
the
all of you.
permissions
I'll
or
just
something.
Change the permission.
Yeah.
That feels like a secretary thing.
Yeah, I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I got it from science. I'll figure out.
You know
Like,
what, the
give me
other
the
little
job list.
secretary thing, that I was thinking, it may be helpful for us to revive our Gmail account.
I don't have that. Simon had that.
Simon,
Do you know that I started
Simon
an
had
email
one.
account that I didn't realize that Simon had started one?
there's a Topsham
And so
bike
I
ped committee
started
at
one
Gmail.
too. It must be a different
Oh,
name.
I
They
think
would just
Simon
like
do
to
that.
Okay,
that.
because that might be helpful
Simon's
as
stuff,
we
then that
proceed.
remember.
Then sends it to everybody on the committee.
No.
No,
Oh, it's just
it's just not a personal email address
Got it.
They could.
that we could send out.
It's not a group.
We could send out, notifications about
Well, and that,
public meetings and stuff like that.
And
To the website too, if you
Yeah.
want to keep in contact.
Oh, I think
Right,
it's on.
it was just a general email,
Might be on.
but we haven't used it for
I don't know those
a year or
emails.
two. Gee whiz, folks, we got through our rules of the road piece. We are gonna run out of time for reflections. I apologize for that. I was thinking, oh, we're not gonna have enough material to get through an hour-long meeting, but we always do.
We always.
So just looking ahead. Today is the 10th of November. Our next scheduled meeting is December 8th. So that is 1, 2, 3. It's 4 weeks out. All right, perfect. We've had some funny meetings here just with the way the second Monday has fallen and holidays and other stuff. Is everyone good with December 8th for our next meeting? We're anticipating we're gonna have consultants. Chief, you just,
She said she'd be here.
just let us know if we need to tweak our
Yeah,
timing or length or.
you'll be happy to know Garver will be here for that meeting. as well.
Oh, we'd have to double the length of the meeting.
Watching it that week.
We better nail that flag down.
Yeah, right?
Everything down,
That
pick up everything
flag
you
down
don't want.
last time he was here. That flag right there, he grabbed it and threw it down. Like, hey,
Not even fun.
that would be so
Do
cute.
we, so Chief, is it something possible to have a sub-meeting with them before this meeting where we can kind of get organized, or is that not?
When I talked to Vanessa last week, she said she was gonna talk to me again and give me an idea to give to Brian to disseminate as far as what their thoughts or how they planned on starting out. So that everybody kind of has an idea of when we hit the road.
Okay.
And I wouldn't be shocked if they wouldn't want to meet just, twice a month. She felt like once a month, we didn't get into it, but she doesn't want to just every 4 weeks go, oh, we got that meeting with the Topsham group. wants to stay
It's like, there's like a
focused
workflow.
Yeah,
that we have
so
to get
I would
into.
not be shocked if she wants to have, rightfully so, probably 2 meetings a month for a little bit. I don't wanna speak for her, maybe not, but
I mean, I think that would make sense.
she wants to be focused on this project, so.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons we chose him.
Yeah,
What if, I'm just thinking, because we were talking about a potential subcommittee to this full committee. What if on every other off week? There was a subcommittee group meeting and then this meeting, so we had meetings every 2 weeks? Or are we thinking about having a full meeting every 2 weeks potentially?
Sorry. My schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's
So that could be.
the idea of having a subcommittee that could be staying on top of stuff and getting work done. I think that would be more likely to make the progress that we intend to make in such a short amount of time.
That could also help with timing if we have something we need to review. We review it as a subcommittee with them, full committee meets, if we need to vote on something. If things happen a little more quickly.
I think it'd be a little hard for some people to not be as, I don't know. In the know
I would,
about things. That would be kind of, I mean, personally, like that would be hard, but I don't know how everybody else feels about. Not that we all need to be included in everything, but just like. Everyone here obviously is invested in the project and. Certainly there would need to probably be some amount of. I'm not saying it couldn't come twice a month, but like documentation of what's being done so that everyone can then know what's happening at every. Meeting in between.
Right, absolutely, and I think. That's part of what we have to understand from Vanessa before the December 8th meeting. What those, will they be doing that documentation for each
Sure.
of the meetings? Or does somebody from our team have to do it? And
Mhm.
how do we make sure that everybody's kept in the loop? Because everybody's not gonna be available every other week to come to a meeting. So we
And what
need
was
some.
the size, like how many people? We wouldn't wanna have a quorum, correct, at every meeting, cause otherwise then it would be like an official meeting. So like we couldn't in theory all come, otherwise it would be an official
so
town meeting
quorum,
every time.
well,
Well, you could, you just have to advertise it different.
as long as we're putting out notices, yes.
Okay,
And that won't impact our attendance, like I don't want it to be not coming and then be counted as missing.
right, This is probably a little bit.
Well, that's kind of technicality.
Yeah.
Probably we haven't gone through before, but I'm sure there's an answer.
Just don't wanna be booted out.
Off, yeah.
That's almost like a
State
traffic.
laws to the select board.
Yeah, no problem. We're gonna wrap up
Twice
here.
a month, but
Okay.
That's a good reason to have a subcommittee or a committee, and then people are, and it's an open meeting, so anybody can come. But in terms of making sure that we're organized and we're not putting anybody into a situation where no way they can come to every other week to have a meeting.
I think
What,
So-
what is the definition?
I'm gonna try to keep an open mind in this question and check in with my wife. About that as well.
I think one thing we could do is, hopefully that'll be a quick, relatively quick meeting. Not more than an hour, hopefully, which
The
the,
December 8th meeting?
well, I mean, just the subcommittee meeting.
Oh,
But we could either have a running document on the Google Drive or a running email chain that is just like, these are the three things we talked about. And then just everyone is kind of kept in the loop with that.
well, we get a lot of questions to
Yeah.
answer with them. Yeah. Okay, Chief, we're gonna be looking to you to just get us I'll reach out to send an update about their thinking about how we organize ourselves to get this done in the most efficient, inclusive way possible.
And for the, on the 8th, is that something I could join by Zoom?
Always.
Okay, so.
It's a question I've been meaning to ask. Is this a persistent link, Jeff? Is it the same link every time?
No, and if you see my tardiness, the link will always be there.
Will always be,
It will always be in your email
Oh.
before the meeting starts.
like right before?
Yeah, so because you really, the way that it's set up, you really can't forget to email it out when you're setting it up, but you can right up until then. So
Okay,
it.
so
just
you're like,
trust me.
you're here like setting up the system.
Yeah, when we're setting this up and ready, if there's anybody that wants to see it, or will join via Zoom. And they don't have the link, check your email, it will be there.
Okay,
Before,
so we'll,
that's
Do
just the
you
easiest way.
to make that?
I'll send them out. Yeah, I can make them, I can try to make it ahead of time, but, and I can try to set it out ahead of time, but.
there's not a way to just make it the same link every time?
It's YouTube and not Zoom, right?
There is, no, this is Zoom, there is a way to do it.
Is it town?
Because then I could just include it on all the agendas. If it was just the same every time, we could just like have it embedded in the agenda.
I think, to be honest with you, I have no idea why I'm about to say this, but I don't think we prefer to do that.
Okay.
I think we.
Because we don't want Zoom bombers getting out there.
I think there's a little.
People gonna log in.
There
for
is something
meeting.
surrounding security, I think it's better to have it. But I can check, and if not, we can just.
That's fine. So this has come up a couple times recently. People can attend via Zoom and you just have to be kind of paying attention at the last-ish
But do
minute.
you send it out to everybody?
Yeah, I did today.
That could be another secretary.
You should all have something in your email right there. That has a Zoom link to it.
I did get it.
That could be
I
like-
don't get that.
What if I communicated with you before the meeting and then that was like a me problem? Like I could send the link out to everybody if I was using the Topsham bike ped Gmail.
It's an extra step, but sure, if you want to.
Okay, if it's an extra step, it doesn't have to be done.
Yeah, no, I mean, no, because the way that it works is when you set the link up, it says who you want to invite, and I can just
Oh,
click the bike ped committee.
That makes
The
sense.
problem is sometimes, I forget these meetings taking place till the day of, and then, you know.
I mean,
That's just-
like looking forward to seeing
That's
us.
just gonna be honest. with you.
Can I add to the distribution list?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will as well. I'll make sure you're on our list. I apologize, I didn't this time.
Yeah, and if you do, I just use your list anyway, I just.
Yeah,
But you could-
So I
you could
do it
put
so I
that
make sure I'm
at the invites to the,
It went to your B2
Oh, it-
design.
oh, maybe it's in like spam or something.
But see, then if you
Okay.
send it just to me,
I know.
then, never mind, you can do whatever you wanna do.
No, if I sent it just to you, that'd be good.
That would be
And
so
if somebody misses it, then.
It's my fault, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, then
folks.
if I send the
everybody-
agenda out, I could send it with the agenda. I have so many ideas.
See, we're not listening to you.
Here.
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn this meeting. All in favor, second,
Email me, tell me.
all in favor of going home?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh,
Next meeting, are we doing just 1 hour?
I'm gonna try to, that's one of the key questions I wanna try to answer ahead of time.
Yeah, I'll ask. My guess would be you might wanna know.
I'm thinking that too. So I think what I heard last time was people, 5:30 to 7 was the preference. And, as opposed to 5 to 6:30. That's okay.
Although gargle weaker.
Mary Beth offered to bring food, so.
Pretty cool. Are you bringing, what's it called, garlic hummus?
Ooh, that was good.
Yeah.
That was good.
Oh,
But I think
we're still being recorded. Are you gonna adjourn?
we did.
You did.
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect.
He's so great.
There was a little bit, there was some